Hello, hello, good morning. Oh, hold on, let me just adjust this a little. Good morning, I am not muted. Okay. Welcome to the second watch along of In the Land of Leadale. Hello, hello, hello. Ah, man, my sticker chat has. Oh, is that? Is that? Hold on, let me. Oh, there it is. Okay. I wanted to make sure it was working because last time, for some reason, in the book club, it was not loading. It was very, very odd. But I didn't really have anything to troubleshoot. It just wasn't really responding. So unless I think I even like refreshed the chat, but thankfully it's working this time. No worries. Hello, welcome in. So exciting news. If you guys have been following me on Twitter, which you may or may not be, honestly, I'm very sporadic on there, so don't blame you. I got the Prism customizable model, and I spent all day yesterday. Well, actually, it was like 6 hours, maybe more than 6 hours, making a bunch of different outfits. I made a new. My idea is here's the thing. On one hand, using a single model, I understand it's a lot for branding, it's a lot for recognition, it's a lot for like, this person is this character. Does that make sense? I kind of want to do new outfits. So, what my idea was for myself is to do multiple outfits but keep my hair the same. Because if I change my hairstyle every time, I'm basically a new character. But if I keep the same hair, it's like I'm dressing up as different characters. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of a nice in between. It's something I really, really liked about this particular customizable model, and there are some really gorgeous ones out there. I just really like the art of this one, but I really also liked how ambitious, like, gosh, the how do I say this? The model artist and model rigger, they keep updating it and they keep adding new things, and there are so many things to play with. And oh my gosh, I keep discovering new things about the model, even though I spent hours playing with it yesterday. And I made an outfit for regular streaming. And by that, I mean it's probably going to be used for like watchalongs and things like that. Because for Mystria, I have a new outfit. For Legend ZA, I have a new outfit. And for Time Strangers, I have a new outfit. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's basically like playing dress up. It's amazing. It's like cosplaying with your character. It is so much fun. And they just announced, the model artist and rigger just announced they are releasing a whole new set of accessories and outfits for December. I'm so excited. Worth every penny. Worth every single penny for this model. I did get some feedback on the design I did settle on, and I will be adjusting some parts of it. But otherwise, I'm super excited for it. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to show you guys. So, sorry. I got a tea delivery. I mentioned earlier that I was thinking of making tea, but I don't know if you guys know. I was not. I always plan because I don't like sitting here with my monitor and everything running, because for some reason when let me explain this. If I don't use the stream and OBS right away, VTube Studio starts acting up. It starts getting real stiff, it starts delaying, it starts getting janky. So I like to time it so that as soon as I have like I think maybe 5 to 10 minutes to set up, I can get going right away. Because usually as soon as I start VTube Studio, that is when the model is like running the smoothest. But yeah, I got a tea delivery. I also had breakfast this morning, you know? It was like small wins, small wins. Hmm. Nice. Hello, welcome in. What was for breakfast? It was a cheesy tortilla. This is something I recently started making for myself. It was actually taught to me by Mama Maria, but I kind of taking it as my own, because what you do is, if you guys want a really, really super quick on the run, something warm for your stomach, and you can adjust this as you like. I just do it this way. It's take a tortilla, 10 seconds, and this is a mini tortilla. If you use a bigger tortilla, you're gonna wanna use a couple more seconds. I would say don't go past, if you're using a gigantic tortilla, that's a little too much. Use a mini tortilla, 10 seconds. Add cheese. I usually add a slice of cheese. Kraft is pretty good. You heat it up, you roll it up, heat it up in the microwave another 15 seconds, and then you have a cheesy tortilla that's warm and super quick, like 25 seconds. Nothing really beats that, does it? It's also not hot enough where it will burn your mouth when you eat it, but it's so warm, it's cheesy, it's really soft. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Also, this is only if your tortilla wraps are kept in your fridge. If you keep your tortilla wraps, like, I guess on the counter for some reason, some people do that, I would do less seconds. Just have to experiment and figure it out for yourself. Yes, I am gonna announce the model debut because, fun fact, for book club last time, I did not finish the entire volume 2 light novel. So there was too much that happened in volume 4 of the manga, which is like about a little less than half of volume 2. And I had too much to talk about. It ended up being the whole 2 hours. So on Monday night, that's my goal. If it's gonna be delayed, I will let you guys know. You will see a waiting room. When I do book club part 2 for volume 2, I will be debuting my model. I'm super excited. I have like this whole thing planned, the accessories, the vibes. I'm so excited. But there's so much to talk about. We will be watching all 4 episodes, which is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is fully covered in volume 2 today. I contemplated doing the book club this morning, but I felt like I would have rushed, and I wouldn't have the model in time, and I thought it was a waste. Why not have the model debut along with the book club? So it's going to be then. I will be debuting the new outfit, so you'll still see like part like you see like the hairstyle of the model, but the outfit will be different for Mystria. So every stream this week will be a new, technically, outfit debut. I'm so excited. So the general model, let me recap because my mind's all over the place. This is what happens when I eat breakfast. Yeah, so Monday night, the goal is going to be model debut, general model debut. Now, every other stream this week, my gaming streams, will include an outfit debut. It's gonna be so cute. Oh my gosh. I still have some things where they're gonna look, I will say, this is kind of a hint, but if you guys have been with me for a while, you'll know that I do have another design. It's seen in all my thumbnail art, it's seen in my header. That is actually my original design. The model I'm currently using, because it has its limitations, I use this outfit and this hair. However, I've honestly become quite attached to it, so you will see callbacks to this model. But I'll be honest, I am thinking of redesigning my original design because I've become very attached to this style. I did try to recreate my original design in the customizable model, and I think it's gonna require me doing a lot of texture editing, which I currently am not prepared for. But I will eventually recreate my original design with the customizable model. But for now, we're going to use a design closer to this, and then it'll be a nice, like, kind of transition, you know? I know, so much to do, so much. But that's just how it is, because unless I fully commission a customizable model of my design, you will always have to modify. Although some people can get closer than others, but I really like what I designed. So I'm excited to show you. Gosh. You guys are gonna see so many silhouettes, and they may not all be recognizable. One of the main things I'm gonna be working on today after the stream is, number one, finishing the book club PowerPoint, because I realized some things. I had some realizations while we were doing book club last time, and I wanted to add those into this one. And then I'm also gonna work on the physics of the new model, because this one, my favorite thing about this model is look at how bouncy it is. Look at how, like, you can see the pupils, the mouth movement. I think that's more of me than the model, but that's just how it be. But there's so many things I need to like adjust, and this is just very typical for any model. You do have to adjust the physics to match you and your camera, but I'll be working on that. So hopefully be ready by Monday night. If not, you guys will. If you guys don't see a waiting room, you know. Okay, now after all of that, any updates on the book butts? Oh my gosh. So I actually put that on the back burner because I could not decide on, how do I say this, a form. I have a couple ideas, but none of them are able to be realized by my limited drawing ability. So I was thinking of asking a friend of mine to help, but unfortunately right now it is convention season. So she's a little busy, so I'm gonna wait until I can talk to her about it and like kind of pick her brain and also ask her if she can, I guess, sketch out the design for me. Because every time I sketch it, it doesn't really look the way I want because of my limited designing ability. And I just want to see if the design looks the way I think it should. So you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer on that. But yeah, appreciate you asking. It's book buds, book blooms, and book blossoms. However you choose. Fun fact for you guys, my streaming room is typically very cool, which is a benefit because, you know, better to stream in a cool room. However, on that note, it does get a bit chilly, so I really do appreciate the tea. I'm very lucky. Okay, so I think it's a good time to start now. For those of you who are new, we'll be watching In the Land of Leadale, episode 5. I will have a timer on screen. We're going to start the timer in 3, 2, 1, episode start. Oh man. I'm a little bit behind. That's okay. All right. So it's very interesting because they don't mention it here, but this place Helpschner was actually the base of another guild, and they had a very samurai aesthetic, and that's why Kana believes that this place is like a mix of East and West, because it's literally just what's left behind of the influence of the guild who previously had their base in this place, which is Helpschner. And I think this was called the Purple Kingdom previously, if we're talking about the old map. Kana is also being tasked to deliver a letter from her daughter. She does not know this person. Her daughter just asked her to. It's very East meets West. Was that an apartment building with a traditional style roof and red railings? It's interesting because that is not how this place looks in the manga. It actually looks more traditional, and it is much lower building. It's more like a traditional Japanese home, I would say. Maybe a little bit of a modernization, but it does not look like this in the manga. No, honestly, I've tried that before. I used to have this heated throw. And by the way, we will be watching the opening sequence. I don't like skipping because it does mess up the timer. But when it comes to, I used to have a heated throw I had on my chair, and it was like the best thing ever. It was so cozy and so comfortable. And then the circuit broke, like burnt out. Like it just stopped working. It was very unfortunate. I did have a backup, but I used the backup once and then it broke. And I thought maybe it was the cable. So I tried using like different cables. Nah, it was terrible. It made me really upset because it had worked perfectly for a year and then it just stopped working. And I didn't even use it that long. I would use it in intervals. Wow, they did Opus 30. Oh, shoot. Mine just stopped loading. Hmm. Today mine is stalling. I actually... No, because it's a waste. They've gotten more expensive and there's no guarantee it won't break out again. I don't know what timing that is. Hold on, let me just double check. I think it's okay now. No, it's fine. I'm just be a bit behind you guys, so it'll be double delay. But it was just annoying because I actually let it sit here and I guess preload while we were talking so that it wouldn't do this, but it did it anyways. But this is also interesting. A difference from the anime and the manga is that he was very formal and wearing like a full style kimono in the manga, and he actually did a full dogeza when he was approaching her, and his grandson was not, the son was not there. This is less formal, and I feel like it's a waste because him being a master of this huge trading company, completely doing a dogeza to, or like bowing to Kana, was such an instant indicator that there was something there. You know what I mean? Now he's just bowing. It's less formal, more just like a merchant meeting someone. Oh, that also changed. That is not what he said. They made him much more flamboyant, and I get that, but... Oh, they changed so many things. That's so... It's very minor, but I feel like these really set the tone because he's actually a very respectable and very... He's eager, but still respectable master owner. Yeah, like... Now he's just like a regular merchant. I do think they did Kana's reaction justice though, because they showed instantly why she was upset, and they also were able to fully depict her foul mood. Another difference, alright. Originally in the manga, Kana and Elena come back and they eat and enjoy with Arbiter and the team, and that's why she's like, yes, see, this camaraderie, this warmth, this is why, how dare they say these inns are crude. But then now they're having that, before anything happens, they've already shown why Kana is upset, and now they're having the knights and everyone meet. So I guess it's to avoid drawing a lot of characters. That's my thought. That was my guess. It's just my opinion. You see this? This is the impact you want. Her bowing on one knee, getting down on one knee, that is such... It instantly, and her shocked expressions of her soldiers, that's what Carrick was doing. That's what shocked everyone. Also, I love her color palette. Karina is so pretty. They really do all of the character designs justice, except for Carrick. He was originally full formal Japanese wear. this weird East meets West outfit. Okay, sorry, it's not that weird. The costume designer actually did a pretty good job, but it was just like, it's as someone who loves the manga, it's a waste. Oh, they also changed Karina's personality. Karina is very neutral towards Kana, and that's because she is a knight and she has a responsibility, but it's also her character. She is more neutral and Carrick is more emotional. But now Karina is so expressive in a different way. Hmm. I don't know how I feel about this because it made Karina's small emotional reactions to Kana more and more endearing because you could tell she was slowly opening up to her grandmother as she spent more time with her. And now it's just, hmm. By the way, this guy is the guy Kana rescued and brought back to life, so I don't know why he's being mouthy. Maybe they're comfortable with her. Oh, I don't like that. Well, at least they kept this. I really like this. When she's angry, you know what Kana does? She throws a giant snowball. But I will say that in the manga, Karina was not part of, you know, the people hit with the snowball. See, even Karina says, "What did I do? She didn't do anything wrong. Why is she involved?" Oh, this is a completely new scene. It's Scargle and Mai Mai. Wait a second. I think I do remember the scene from the light novel. I do remember the scene from the light novel. That's interesting. They adapted something from the light novel and not the manga. Because I remember Scargo saying this. Actually, I actually remember. I think Kartaz was there in that scene. Was that necessary? Oh gosh, it's like skipping again. Well, after this, I might restart my second computer. Actually, that just exposed. I'll restart it so that I can try it again because I don't know why it's doing this. It's never done this before. Oh, I think okay. That's right. This is the right. I can't watch. I can't use my model and watch something at the same time. It doesn't work. So I had to like grab another computer in order to watch and then have my model. They still showed the map and they didn't show the red portion. In the manga, they said that there's a red part of the map that is forbidden or like blocked off by the garrison. No, they missed out. He had a really cool. Sorry, she had a really cool panel where she punched him in the gut. It was great. Eat the night. Why this angle? Excuse me. What in the world? What was the point of that? No. Alright. Okay. You know what? This is just small things. No, they completely skipped the scene of her cooking! She ends up cooking to bring him a gift as like an apology, like, apology gift. I'm a little... That's so upsetting because it was such a great and fun moment for her to like cook. And she looks so cute in her apron! Wow, they extended it. It originally stopped after being burnt or boiled. No, no. That was not the apology. The original apology acknowledged her side and his inability to empathize because... What do you mean he's apologizing because he's a merchant who delivers wares? What does that have to do with him? The line in the manga and the light novel were so good because they both communicated clearly and they both acknowledged where they both were lacking and apologized to each other and like were able to understand each other better. Here he's just like, I'm a merchant. I deliver wares. I should understand. This damn subtle talk. Also, they missed a really cute moment where Carrick imagined his mother telling him all the stories about the 13 Guardian Towers, and that's where his knowledge of the towers comes from. Here, they just made him freak out. And now they just have the grandson in the background for no reason. He was never present at these, which I do think is a shame, but it's just, what's the point of him standing there? He doesn't even get to sit. He's like the great grandson. Also, Kana doesn't have her realization that she has 2 grandkids and a great grandkid. That's really important because it shows that Kana's very aware of her surroundings and super sharp. She was able to piece things together right away. What's so great about the grandkid? Nothing, but he's just someone who might pop up later. That's all I'll say. Yeah, I don't really like this. I understand that there's a lot of things you change for flow, but because these are fundamentally changing some of the characteristics, I'm starting to see the directors... I'm not a fan of this director. This is my personal opinion. I'm allowed to have a personal opinion. I am not a fan of this director. There are some things he's done really, really well, but I really don't like how he's developing some of the characters. No. So they gave him a line, I get it, because they had the voice actor for him anyways. But there was a line where there was a young, maybe it was like a great grandkid. It was another young elf who came and delivered tea, and they were like, oh, I'm scared. I don't think I want to enter that room anymore. And it was so much more impactful. Because it's just one of those things where like you slowly start to see that each of Kana's kids actually have similarities with her, and it's such a cute thing to see. It's a waste. I will say the voice actors though, 10 out of 10. Voice actors always do a really great job. I'm just annoyed with a lot of the script and direction and some of the shots. That's a weird donkey. Was that a 3D model? I guess this makes more sense. It's more funny in the manga though because there is a tiny donkey with very few supplies and she's supposed to be doing a supply run, so it's very clearly fake. But in this case, the donkey like has a literal actual wagon. Well, let's go, Vello Dancer. Also, there's a cute moment in the light novel where Kana comments that the donkey's super calm, and she really commends her great grandson for picking out a great donkey and who's clearly very professional. They changed Karina's second in command from a male beastman to a female beastman. Why? Oh, it takes 3 days to get there. It takes her half a day, by the way, to get here with Vello Dancer. See, why would you change a male character to a female character? No, exactly. That's why she commends them for being like actual professionals, and that's where her great grandson once in a while pops up. They changed it again. All right. So in this case, there was her second command was very, very sweet. He first says that he thought Karina and Kana were sisters, which is a very cute moment because they're both really happy about it. And then he accuses her of lying about the mascot, the summoning, because summoning is no longer commonplace magic. See, it makes no sense for her to be like this because Karina's too soft. I know, that's what annoys me. The other knight characters were really cool in the manga. Oh, at least this time they fully are able to depict the 9 golems. Because in the manga, it's kind of hard to tell if there are 9. You kind of just see them. Now you can clearly see there are 9. 8 of them are the same level. 1 of them is a little stronger. They only drew 1. Like, okay, Karina's entire garrison, part of them are beastmen, part of them are regular humans. But they only have 1 beastman now. They changed this too. Because originally what happened was Karina immediately sent them out to fight, and everyone thought that they could handle it until they realized that none of their attacks worked, and that's when Karina was like, I don't think we're a match, and then she takes charge. But they are clearly underprepared and not as skilled. There was a huge contrast to show the current state of the garrison and why Karina is the guard captain, and now they're trying to, could be limited budget. It also could be. You're very correct. But they could have just put a couple ears on some of the soldiers. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that the knights in the manga definitely wouldn't be able to avoid a strike. And mine's lagging again. Yeah, that's what this was as well. But if you fundamentally change one of the characters and 2 of them, then you are not advertising the source material because people who check out anime and the anime then read the manga, if they like the anime, they may not like the manga because they're different with their characteristics. Also, that is not what happened. Karina's ability is not that strong. I'm a little behind, apologies. But Karina's ability is not that strong. Wow, I'm really behind. I'm like 30 seconds more than behind. Sorry. You guys can watch it if you want because you're ahead. But I will not be watching because I'm a little... No. If you like the anime, that is totally fine. It is totally valid. Oh, it's the ending. Okay. All right, we're pausing it there. I'm pausing it there. You can continue watching the ending if you would like. But my concern is that if you are trying to promote the original anime, the source material, like the light novel or the manga, and then you make the characters fundamentally different, one of the main things for Karina is that she is a little more stiff because you get the contrast of all of Kana's relatives being very eager, very emotional, and then you have Karina, who, because of her position and her responsibilities, she has to be a little more neutral. She really cares for her grandmother, but she has to hold herself back because she knows that she has to think about the interests of her country, because her grandmother is literally a force of nature. Also, her grandmother came from another country. Yeah, I am loading it. That's why I'm gonna be yammering a little bit, because I'm annoyed. But it's like it makes the payoff of Karina slowly getting to warm up to her grandmother, even despite her position, but still being responsible and doing what she needs to do and saying what she needs to say. When she was sitting there talking to her grandmother, it felt more like an interrogation in the manga because she had to do it for the sake of her country when she had to give a report because her subordinates saw Kana come in. They had their questions, and Karina was the one who had to show them that she's responsible enough to handle the situation despite being related to Kana. You also have the fact that Kana is having so many moments here where she is not showing that she is in fact overpowered. Why is Kana overpowered? Not just because of her level, not just because of anything, but because she is so smart in the way she uses her skills. She has such a strong understanding of the structure of skills, how to utilize her mana, and so many things that she has to simultaneously calculate, but that she always is able to. And that's what makes her an amazing, overpowered character. It also makes it really fun because Kana is not someone who just goes around and fixes everything just because she can. She's very much aware, and so, like she said, she doesn't want acknowledgement for her because she knows it will cause trouble. Potentially. Sorry, I forgot to stop this. Might cause trouble for the country if, like, a seemingly little girl goes in and resolves things. There's so many layers that they have unfortunately removed, and that's just going to reduce the impact, I personally feel. I also think that some of their choices, I get it. I just feel like it wasn't necessary. Because if you're looking for fan service, Leadale is not for you. That's what I'll say. There is pretty much zero fan service in Leadale, which is why some of these shots upset me a little. A little. I am It's just unnecessary. Because one of the things that was really great about a lot of the design in Leadale is it is so fitting. So, for example, because Carrick is a huge guild master, he was wearing very formal kimono wear. Karina and all her knights are wearing full suit armor because they are defending the country. And now Karina is wearing what we call fan service armor. It's not terrible, it's just it makes her seem much less serious in her position. Also, I'm going to say this before we start the next episode. Kana only steps in. She acknowledges that she could step in sooner to help them, but she doesn't think that she should. It's not until she sees that Karina used her hidden card, her ace up her sleeve, that she's like, okay, now I need to step in because this is clearly completely out of their league, but she can really see Karina's efforts. It's so I am not like one of my favorite scenes is coming up with between Kana and Karina, and I don't think they're going to do it justice. They've already taken away a lot of the emotional build up to that scene. So we'll just watch. All right. So the episode loaded a little. I don't think there's nothing we can really do. We'll just see how it goes. Starting the episode in 3. Wait, hold on. 3, 2, 1, start. Okay, that is not what it looked like in the manga as well. That's... Oh, okay. They changed some of... Alright. They're better at action scenes. So let me explain. So what happens is Karina and her men are clearly all beaten down. They're injured. Karina is upset and frustrated because that last attack took a lot out of her and it was ineffective. Just as her knights are losing hope, Kana comes forward and commends Karina for doing a great job. She does not say, "You need something like this." That's a little haughty and a little... That's very out of character for Kana. She has never once flaunted her ability. In fact, she is always acknowledging that a lot, because she understands, like, right now magic is at a different place than it used to be. So she thinks that she commends Karina for doing a really great job. But I don't know, that comment throws me off because that's not in her character. I'm being annoying right now, but part of what frustrates a lot of characters in the manga and light novel is that Kana doesn't realize how strong she is. On one hand, she does know she's powerful, but because to her this is common sense. She has a whole guild of people who are the same level of her. So that's why she's never thought of herself as particularly powerful. So to see her now being like a little bragging is just They do draw the scenery beautiful though. That is gorgeous. That's the Crescent Moon Castle. See, this is the moment that I really liked in the manga because Karina is very disappointed in herself that she wasn't able to protect her men or do her job. And Kana's words of acknowledging her efforts really soothed her and made her and comforted her. And I really adored that because Karina is so neutral up until that moment where it's like you really get to see that bond. Mine stopped loading. All right, okay. Sorry, I'm gonna have you guys pause for a minute. I'm gonna restart mine. I don't like that. Okay. Wow, as soon as I threatened to restart it, it just all of a sudden started working again. Let me catch up to you guys and see how this works. It's loaded quite a bit after I wanted to restart it. I cannot. I'll just reach the point of... Okay, I've reached 333, so we're gonna start again in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I've caught up to you guys. I'm waiting to see if they depict this next part. No, they... Alright. So what happened in the manga was as soon as Karina finishes talking, she sees a giant magic mushroom cloud of Kana's magic, and she has the knights set off so that they can go, like, it's proving her words, so they can go see what her grandma's been up to. They have skipped through that, and it was so impactful because the knights who were very disbelieving of Karina's words instantly saw proof of it in front of their eyes. It was also such a great moment to truly show, like, when Kana doesn't hold back, how powerful she is. I don't know if I missed it, but there is like a whole summoning formula that we were figuring out in book club. And from now on, I'm going to try to calculate all the levels of Kana's summons. The thing is, it's the reason why it was so important for Kana to immediately go, like, use her magic. And it was because there was a bandit keeping watch of the golems. I get that they may not have wanted to depict that, but Kana sends her spirit to go follow, and that's how she's able to find the bandit's stronghold. Because Kana doesn't really know how to reach these places. Let's keep that in mind. The map has changed a lot. A lot of things may have been different. So she was only able to find the bandit's hideout through her spirit's following. All right, you see, this is where I get it. This is where the limited budget is because these rock earth dragons, they have three abilities. They can use their spikes to attack, they can hit people, and they also have a fire breath that turns people into stone. Oh, he has a name. His name is Love Rogue. They also made this character look very different. He doesn't look quite as cool. I think it's just the color palette, and it's not because it's the designer didn't do well. I think it's because in the manga he's much more menacing. Here he kind of looks cartoonish, and I simply think it's just I imagine him wearing a pitch black armor. That's just my personal preference. This is also really unfortunate. If you guys are interested in the series, I highly recommend you read the manga because this moment right here, this where Kana is encountering another player for the first time and she's confronting them with the fact that this is reality. The paneling, the perspective, the build up to it was so good. You could really see Kana trying her best to talk to someone, talk to a player she's meeting because she's meeting a player for the first time in what feels like a very long time. And that is not how you hold her staff. That is not how you hold the staff to fight. I don't know. Here it just feels like a normal battle, but in the manga it was such a great emotional moment. I would say that it's just there's so much tension. There was so you could clearly see it in the expressions of the players. You see how Kana is able to instantly identify moves before they're even announced because of her knowledge? It's crazy. Oh, also, this is Kana clocks him as a kid right away based on his speech pattern. Very true. They added dialogue here when they didn't. When. Hmm. It was also a waste. See, they invested in moments like this where they didn't need to, because what actually takes out this guy is her using extend, and she just like oops him into the hole, and it makes it so much more comical because he's too like very powerful and everything. See, his defeat is actually very comical. There were some moments that aren't terrible, but they. Okay, that's accurate. Originally, they have this conversation as Kana is trying to talk to him before they fight. No, 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 no. Okay. Here it makes Kana seem so cold. Kana has a real hesitation of a moment because she recognizes this kid is a kid, but she also knows that he's dangerous. That even though he's a kid, what if he changes his mind and does it again? She really hesitates, but she thinks that this is her duty. She is not this scary. She. Also, Kana defeats the bandit stronghold. That's why the knights are all following her. That's really weird. Why did they add in characters you haven't seen before in the cutscenes? I guess we're not gonna get the cute scene after either with the dragons. No. See, it's. Karina is the only one who doesn't try to threaten her grandmother, because why would you raise your sword against someone who could destroy your country? It was her knights that did it, and Karina was trying to talk to Kana. This is why I said there's a lot of. It seems very small, but these small details are what show that all Kana's relatives really understand how powerful she is, and they do believe it. That's why they're trying to be rational, because she is rational. Like, communicate with her. No, no, that's not true. Well, at least they included the warning this time. They didn't include in the manga. She actually doesn't have this discussion, this last part with Karina, until later. But she says they say it all now, so I'm guessing we're not going to get that. They make it seem much more comical. It was much more emotional in the manga. And I keep saying emotional, but there's so much about this series where each character feels so real because of their emotions that they are so clearly depicted in the manga. Here, when Kana says, if anyone is curious, I'll let you hear the magical girl. Hold on. Oh, that was great. That was a great adaptation of that scene. Okay. The other thing I'm going to mention is that is a punishment collar. Only GMs and limit breakers are allowed to put that on players. That's why Kana has the responsibility she feels to deal with this because she was used to doing it in the game. Now, limit breakers are people who completed a special quest to exceed level 1000. Kana is level 1100. She has so many GM duties. And that's why when the demon saw the call, he's like, oh my god, you're one of those. And the only thing I don't agree with is Kana saying there's only one other person who could take it off, because technically any of her other guild members could also take it off because they're all limit breakers. She doesn't yet know, so why would she say there's only one other person? It just doesn't make sense in the script because even Kana at this time recognizes this one player. Why wouldn't there be more players, you know? Interesting though that they depicted it this way because they did this skeleton did have a magical girl transformation, but it did not restore the rest of the place. They put their budget in different places. They also brought this scene up. This was not something Kana reflected on until after. That's why they got rid of the dragons. Again, adapted from the light novel, not the manga. See, she doesn't call him Leadale's combing here. It was so much fun. I was reading it in the book club and it's a lot of fun to say. No. Kana was originally really sad because Opus, by the way, is her partner in crime, someone who helped her a lot in the game, who taught her how to play the game. And so, thinking about him, she's wondering if he possibly could be in Leadale as well, and that's what makes her sad. But also, I didn't realize that he gave her his ring. That's not true. That wasn't in the light novel or manga. But that's a great reaction to what she finds. Oh, they illustrated her so cutely. That was the timing was off because originally it wasn't until she tried talking to the fairy that the skeleton says, oh, who are you talking to? It's confusing to the skeleton, but that makes sense. Now that she's just opening and closing a book, the skeleton's like, why are you just standing there? I think that's a little too soon. Are they gonna skip it? Because the thing is, Kana also gets access to Opus's item box, and she takes a bunch of things that help her later on in the series. So are they? I guess they don't plan to animate that far. So this is why they changed it, because originally when Kana leaves this place, it's nighttime. That's why she stays the night. With her dragons, it's very cute. Having her great grandson peer in, worried. They make it more menacing here. In the manga, it's more like he's desolate. He's just, you can tell. And they don't take him very seriously. I'm not gonna lie. The knights are very dumb. And I get it because they think it's just one person's opinion. But they actually tried to take the collar off of him. And it's like, so the fact they're taking it very seriously in the anime is funny to me, that they changed so many things. But this is something, I guess, like, they thought it was important to change this. Heh. So the thing is, Kana mentions very specifically that if the nobles bother her, she'll just fry them. And they're like, oh, in an emergency. And I'm like, Kana's still not gonna answer. She's literally gonna be in another country. But it's interesting they talk about this now too. No. Yeah, Kana's not like that. That annoyed me. See, this just makes her look childish. She's not like that. She was very serious when she was telling Karina that it would unnecessarily risk her life. If you guys are curious, I'll tell you why the House of Murder and Malice, despite its appearance, is so dangerous when we reach the ending scene. But it's very cute. One thing they did really well is that the fairy does in fact imitate Kana. They put their entire budget into some of these. Alright. Okay. So, stopping here. Actually, wow. Wait, what in the world? That is so weird. Okay. So I'm gonna preload while I tell you a little bit about the House of Murder and Malice. Okay. So the House of Murder and Malice, as it's called, although it looks gorgeous, she said that it is intentional because Opus Schuttenheimer bomb. Opus Schuttenheimer something Tet Bomber. Kettenbomber. Opus Schuttenheimer Kettenbomber. What he did was he designed it to look really opulent. So when people approach, there's a sign that says, you must sign this contract. But the contract is actually a giant metal sheet sharpened on all four sides, which will chase after you and try to attack you when you approach it to sign it. Then, when you enter, there are spikes that come out from the floor. There are traps that trigger off, explosions, poisonous flowers that spew when you get close. It is basically a huge giant murder trap. That's why she is so she's so specifically and being very serious and like I guess you would say passionately reminding Karina, do not approach that. But what I find interesting in both the light novel manga and here in the anime is that she doesn't recommend Karina try her own tower. Maybe it's because her tower is in a different country. But she could have said, hey, I have my own tower, or you can try this tower. It's less dangerous. There's also she currently has 3 towers, and they don't mention this, but she actually tells the Guardian, hey, you can contact Guardians 3 and 9, because 3 is Kana's own tower as the 3rd skill master, 9 is the tower she found is the Colosseum in previous episodes, this is the 3rd tower she's found, which is number 13, so she has 3, 9, and 13 so far. Technically, this is tower number 12. The reason there are 13 towers but 12 skill masters, because each tower belongs to a skill master, and there's a long story there. I don't mind telling you guys if you're curious, but basically, skill masters only give skills to other players when you complete their tower trial. What they don't tell you is that these tower trials are pretty petty. They're very difficult. They are intentionally made difficult because these skill masters were harassed by players who tried to force them to give skills, because skills are only found through quests or through doing a lot of time or for triggering certain events. So they basically harassed these skill masters until one of them quit. That's why there are 13 skill towers, 12 skill masters. Yeah. So it wasn't just regular people. It was literally at any level. I'm sure that there are skills that people want, but they don't want to go through the trouble. So they probably band together and harass the skill master. So it was probably just a bunch of jerks. So that's why like Opus's tower being like this difficult is already like pretty normal. The other ones are very petty. I'll tell you the Colosseum's trial because I don't think it'll come up here. The Colosseum, which is the 9th skill master Kyotaro, who is a Dragonzoid, his tower trial is to fight a reflection of yourself. It's basically like fighting a version of yourself. You know the shadow? And you fight it in a Colosseum, there's an audience and everything. It's pretty crazy. Canis, by the way, is to walk up a tower for 24 hours straight. You cannot use magic. Anytime you use magic or you stop walking or you try to cheat, then it will immediately kick you out of the tower and you have to start over all over again. But hers is already pretty tame. Some of the other ones are pretty vindictive. The one I think that is going to come up soon is not quite as bad. It's just interesting in design. Interesting is a very mild way to put it. Alright, so mine has loaded quite a bit. I'm gonna see... Oh, I forgot to pause it again. Alright, reset. So let's watch the next... Oh, I forgot to change it as well. My gosh. Okay, we're on episode 7. Apologies. Properties. We're on episode 7. We just finished episode 6. Alright, let's... Oh. Okay. Let's start episode 7. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Oh, I'm a little bit behind. I'm like 1 second behind. It's okay. No! Okay, I forgot to mention this as well. So there were 2 things. In the manga, they don't show it, but light novel, Kana and Kartas fixed the bridge together. In the manga, Kartas finishes it alone, and Kana is really proud of his skills. Here in the anime, they just didn't show it. No, see, this doesn't make any sense either. Why would her son assume she would finish him off? Because her kids all know her as very kind, but she's just someone who doesn't hold back, but she's never taken a life. So I don't think that's a fair assumption to make. Also, Kana herself has a lot of conflict about whether or not she should have handed them over to Helpshner, because he is literally so high level that she acknowledges even her eldest son, who is super, super powerful, is the high priest of the Falskilo. He cannot handle this player. That's why she was very concerned if the knights would truly be able to handle it. And they were stupid enough to try to take the collar off. So, you know. Oh man, mine lagged again. Okay. This is not running smooth. Apologies. I'm gonna have you guys pause right here. I don't know when the opening ends, but I'm just gonna have to let mine load a little. It's... maybe I'll restart it this time. Hold on. Close. Try it again. At 2 minutes. Okay, it's loading a little. I'm gonna let it load some more and see if it can load up into the point where I feel comfortable enough playing again. Playing the episode, because I really don't like this lag. We've done multiple watch-alongs up to this point, and I've never dealt with lag like this before. I don't know what's going on. It's just one of those days. But let me tell you a bit more about the. While I'm waiting for it to load, let me tell you a bit more about why that was impactful. I'll tell you, my day's been going pretty well. Thank you for asking. I hope your guys' day also is going well. Like I said, I had breakfast, I have tea. It's been going really well. But let me tell you a little bit because in the light novel, it's such a cute moment where Kana and her son are working together to build something for the first time. And her son's super excited. I think he's excited to show his mom how much he's able to do. And Kana's excited to be doing something with her kids because she really hasn't spent time with them, but now she really accepts them and acknowledges them as her kids. And it's really cute because they definitely had creative differences, but everyone could tell that they like did get along really well and they were just very powerful. Sad it's Sunday already, 5 weeks until Christmas break. Yeah, let's go. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. It's true that Sunday is the end, but Sunday will come again. I know that it's always rough when it's Monday the next day. I remember I remember when it was one of those days where you couldn't wait to just count down to the weekend. But know that once you get through it, you'll get the weekend again, and then it will soon be not only Christmas break but New Year's. It's gonna be exciting. Black Friday hype, some of it, some of it. I'm excited for Black Friday because I want to get a couple things, but I have pretty much. I don't think I'll be getting much this year, just because of I did I did buy the Prism customizable model, so most of my budget is gone, although I did plan for it. But yeah, we're gonna see if the deals are good. That's also true. That sounds really rough, Double Red. I hope you're able to fully enjoy your day off though. But yeah, let me just continue because I wanted to talk about this and I didn't get to talk about it during book club because I forgot. But in the manga, you get to enter and you get to see Kartaz being very expert and using his building skills to repair the bridge. And Kana's so proud of him, and they have a cute moment. I think, like in the manga artist clearly adores Kana's relationship with her kids because they show it in such a very sweet way. And it's just so nice to see. And then you have in here where there's no scene, which I get it. Limitations, I'm not gonna nitpick that. I don't like how anime Kartaz constantly doubts his mom though. In the manga and light novel, Kartaz is one of his mom's supporters. He's very rational. He will point out when he thinks Kana's being unreasonable, but he is clearly very much just as loving of his mom as his other siblings. And you can argue that yeah, he just knows his mom well. He because they all know their mom well, they know she would never hurt someone. So for him to be like, "You took out the bandit leader, didn't you?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" Literally, even when she was fighting a gigantic monster, they know that as long as Kana's the one fighting, no one around them would get hurt. That's why it doesn't make any sense to me. I Some of the character choices is what annoys me. Really annoys me. Okay, I think it's loaded enough where we can play it now. So going to play the episode in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Hopefully this time it runs smoothly. I will say the scenery in this is absolutely stunning. Like in this anime, they really nailed the scenery. Forgot to mute. I will also say this anime came out 4 years ago. It doesn't make it old, but I will put into perspective the time period it came out in. They changed this too. Originally, Arbiter and everyone join Kana to go visit the remote village, and then they go to Feskilo. Cute fact about the fairy, even though no one can see it, the fairy is very shy and often hides in Kana's hair when there's a lot of people around. And fairies are usually there to help with quests and things like that. So, multiple questions about why Opus Schuttenheimer Kettenbomber, had a fairy and gave it to Kana. This is actually something Kana remembers because it was her kids who mentioned it. She needs Key for a lot of things, but she does not need Key to remind her about things about her kids, except for the fact that she didn't remember who the letter was to. They also removed an encounter. There's actually an encounter of another character who is. Oh, see, here he is. See, in this moment, actually, Coral, who talked to her, and it led to a really interesting is he not moment. That's a waste. I will say that for me personally, this is my least favorite mini arc in the series. This encounter with this person. I don't really know why, but I think it's just cuz it didn't really add anything for me. Hello, welcome in. We're currently watching episode 7 of the anime. If you'd like to pop in, I do have the timestamp on screen. I think I just don't like the royal family. That's why I don't really have an opinion. I'm literally not talking because I don't really have an opinion on this arc. I think it's a great. I always enjoy Kana's antics, but I didn't really know what this was set up for. By the way, Kana, as a high elf, has the ability to speak and communicate with plants. That's why the trees are bending for her. Don't show this. It's very interesting they decided to depict this. But basically, the downside of being able to talk to plants is that when she tries to collect materials and things like that, she can basically hear all their complaints. And you see how they know she is the mom of High Priest Scargo, and then there's still idiot princes who try to piss her off, and nobles who threaten her, and I just. Yeah, see, that's why it's tough for her. She just typically buys her materials. No, Sir Barris is a cute boy. What do you mean? Sipper Wolf. Sipper Wolf. If I ever get a Doberman in Time Stranger, I'm gonna name him Sipper Wolf. Ah, no, he was so cute. He winked. What do you mean? Also, Kana serves the meat skewers in the mangas, not onigiri and baked potatoes. No, what a waste. So what happens is that Kana has her spirits going to look for horned bear. She has multiple fairy spirits, and they fly around looking for the horned bear. They distract her, and when they found one, they come to find Kana, and she will take it down. Kana takes down these bears with one kick. It's very important because if you damage the bear, then the value and the meat can be less or affected. That's why she can only kick it to submission. And by that, I mean completely knock it out. Not even knock it out cold, just is gone. Oh man, more friend service. The princess is not this gung ho in the manga. What the? They were all wearing towels in the manga. And also, Kana left them here guarded by other summons as she goes to defeat the horned bear. I definitely didn't watch up to this far in the anime. They have this conversation when they're by the fire, but I guess they really wanted to depict this onsen scene. Yeah, if you're looking for fan service, Leadale is not it. In terms of other content aside from the anime, apparently. Also, the onsen scene in the manga was one panel of them being unsure, but they feel like if it's Kana, it's okay. And then that was it. And then everything else happened when they were not in the onsen. What the? I don't like these in between cutscenes. I don't really like the dialogue being said so far. That's, by the way, a holy white dragon, one of her summons. I was wondering what that was in the opening scene. I never expected it would be this. Oh my god. The hell? They added that joke. Why are there so many dirty jokes in this episode? No, I don't like this episode at all. By the way, in the manga, she tells the animal to roll over. The dragon to roll over. Now I know why I don't watch a lot of anime. I'm not saying all anime isn't good. I'm not saying this anime isn't good. I'm saying that it's really not my preference. I always have to give a disclaimer. I like my cozy community and I want to keep it that way. And they totally missed it because when the princess is bringing up this knight captain, Kana actually wonders if he's someone who has knowledge of the ancient times. Is he perhaps a player? Because don't forget, now that Kana has confirmed that there is an existence of players, she's on the lookout to see if there are any others. Do they mention the academy in the light novel? I don't remember. This Kana is a breaker. It's not bad to be confident in your abilities, but it's annoying in the way she does in the anime. In the manga, she's just more lighthearted about it. And see here. Oh, okay, she's more consistent in this at least. There is consistency, a little bit of discrepancy when Kana's talking about scroll trial. Sometimes she's like, I'm willing to give you the skill. She was willing to give Mirel skills, but she just wasn't sure if she could learn it. But sometimes she's like, oh, you need a scroll trial. Yep, that's basically how she defeats all the bears. This is like the fourth one she's defeated in the series. Mm, what are they doing to her character? The only character who is very consistent is Lonti. It's honestly like a great adaptation of Lonti. Even some of the things where they've adjusted, it's so Lonti, and I don't know why they did Kana this dirty. Okay, that's also not what happened. So what happened in the manga is that Kana is still hanging out outside with the princess and Lottie when the fairy signals her that they have to head back to town, and Kana immediately gets that there's something wrong. And that's when they rush back. But now she's just like, yeah, let's just go back. Lonti is best girl, always. Oh, they took away Coral's entire backstory. The manga does a great job of depicting it because, fun fact, Coral's been in this world for 10 years, so he had a little bit of a different journey than the others, and it's so good to see it depicted. Wow, they added in a whole new scene that didn't exist anywhere else. Oh, we'll see if we get to see it here. By the way, it's much more sad for Koro because he was actually with a bunch of friends spending and enjoying his last day when he blinked and all of a sudden he was in Leadale by himself. But it is very touching. And he actually went through a lot of trouble because he's been in here as 10 years. Everyone else has only been here for a while, which, oh, sorry, that's a spoiler. The emotional bond between two men. Everyone's clapping for them. So that's not what happens. In the manga, he has multiple failed attempts and he pours it in. Who is just throwing away entire beakers and wasting equipment? They do a really good job of depicting these like action scenes, so I'm excited to see how they depict this one. By the way, this is a game collection point where once you trigger the right conditions, it will activate a gigantic boss monster fight, and it was originally used by players to get rewards and things like that. But that's why Kane is very confused why they built a whole country on top of it. So this is where they put their animation budget. Into this, that was really well done, but in unsustainable, wasteful potion disposal. But it's very funny because this penguin is described to be dolphin-like. So we actually did not reach this far in the book club, but we will continue watching. In book club, we only got up to about, I think it was before Kana met the princess and everyone. So that's where we stopped in book club because that's not until volume 5. So a lot of this, for those of you who joined book club, this might be new to you and that's okay. We will talk about it. I did mention some of the differences already. I will bring them up again as we discuss volumes 5 and part of volume 6. But it's pretty crazy to me. I will say that if there is fan service in a series, and if you read the other source material that is promoting and there is no fan service, would you not be disappointed and then thus not want to buy the source material, thus the promotional materials failing in their duty? I'm just so annoyed because there is no point to that. It's just... I'll get over it. I'll get over it. I'm just gonna look up this director and never watch anything from them again. So I'm gonna... I'm sorry, I'm just so annoyed. I'm waiting for the episode to load a bit more as well. Hold on. So what do you guys have planned for today? I'm excited. I'm gonna have my favorite Chinese takeout for lunch. I'm hopefully gonna get bubble tea. I'm thinking about it. Not sure if I'll get it, but then otherwise I'll be working on book club stuff and I'll be working on the customizable model. It's close to lunchtime. Yeah. No, it's okay. I do want to finish it because I don't think I can do a second watch along. I can do a second book club, but I don't think I could do a second watch along because I do want to continue playing Time Stranger, Mystria, and Legend ZA. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, fun! One of the things that I wish I had around me was like a good arcade. There are arcades where I am, but they don't have good games and they all encourage you to consume alcohol, which let me say, nothing wrong with that if you're an adult. However, it means that the machines, I've seen so many reviews say that they are sticky. And that is very unpleasant. I do not want to, like, navigating an arcade in the dark and then not knowing if the machine is sticky. That's terrible. That's terrible. Oh my gosh, Pochaco. I actually saw a K-pop group who collabed with Sanrio and I was so tempted. I didn't like plan to buy their album because I'm not really as into K-pop anymore, but I was so tempted because one of the characters they collabed with was Pochaco and it was so cute. I almost bought it just for that alone. Rhythm games are that's unfortunate because the ones I've played at in like the arcades I've been to when I was like before and when I visit friends is they are very nice. They are kept really well because there are like attendants going around cleaning constantly. A lot of people also wear gloves where at the arcades I've been to, they wear gloves to play these rhythm games. Ooh, you did the final story mission in Pacific. Nice. Well, I hope it was just what you expected, because I think one of the best feelings is knowing you finished a game. Oh, by the way, let me see if I have it. I'll show it really quick. I recently checked out Cyber Sleuth because as I was playing Dress Up, I realized that I wanted to try to recreate the Cyber Sleuth outfits just for fun to see if I could, and I could. Let me show you my Cyber Sleuth team. Oop, no, 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 no. That was the wrong place. My bad. No wonder I was like, that was weird. Oh, I'm still waiting for it to load, sorry. Cyber Sleuth content? I'm planning to do a short for Cyber Sleuth. I don't know if I can do full-on content, but I want to do Hacker's Memory. But we're gonna have to finish other games first. So this is my Cyber Sleuth team. As you can see, I already finished the game, I found out. So this is the team I used to finish Cyber Sleuth. My favorites are definitely Dianamon, Sakuyamon, and Justimon. I realized that Sakuyamon and Dianamon are actually Datamons, and then most of my others are all vaccines. I do have a couple of viruses that I deliberately brought in. So Lucamon is fairly new to my team, that's why he's so low leveled. Lilithmon is also fairly new because it took me so long in order to get her leveled up. But as you can see, everyone else is literally level 99. So that was my core team. And this is just the last team I used just before I finished the game. Yeah, Lilithmon was really a really nice surprise for me, but I needed a dark element. So I don't know if you can tell. I tried to kind of balance out the elementals because I had just so many holy mons. So I tried to bring in like Garurumon was electric, Blackboard Greymon was my fire type, Danamon and Rosemon were water and grass. Ravemon was also a surprise to me, but I did need a wind type, so he was very nice to bring in. And then Lucamon, I don't remember his typing, but I did bring him in because it took me literally so long to level him up. And I just figured I'd use him anyways. He has a really cool attack. So yeah, that's my team. Wows, and I also... Yeah, that was it. I couldn't show you my final team because it turns out when you finish the game in Cyber Sleuth, it doesn't let you reload. Like once you complete it, you have to do a new game plus save file. Will I attempt to recreate in Time Stranger? Nah. Because I think in Time Stranger, I'm gonna explore other mons. This is just what I decided on for how do I say this? I decided on this because I had this many slots. I think in Cyber Sleuth you only have 6. So I'm really gonna have to be more careful with who I put on the team. I'm not gonna have this many options. Otherwise, I would just have Sakuyamon, Seraphimon, Dianamon, probably Ophanimon and Justimon as like my 6. If I need a 6/6, it probably would be Rosemon. I already have. I technically have, but it's different. It's different. My core team, because I technically bring the box with me wherever I go, so it's not as much of a concern. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to like talk about my core team. But yeah, I'm just interested in seeing because there are some mons I'm exploring now and I think they're interesting. I'm gonna see if there are different evolutions. I couldn't do. What was it? I didn't have Lobomon. I didn't have. I'm only thinking of Lobomon. So I really want Lobomon on my core team this time. So there will be some differences. Oh, I already have Next Order. I do have Next Order. I haven't played it at all. That'll be another stream. Future stream. But yeah, something fun to explore. Alright, I don't think my video is gonna load anymore, so we're gonna start the next episode. So you want Next Order before Hacker's Memory? I can... Like, I don't mind. It will just depend what I feel like. I honestly thought it would be... Sorry, I thought I heard something. I'll consider it if it's for storyline purposes, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm very curious about Hacker's Memory. Oh, okay. So, Next Order to Pokemon ZA? Oh, that's interesting. I'll definitely consider that. Excuse me. Okay, I'll look into that a little more. But for now, I'm going to focus on Mystria, Legend ZA, and Digimon Time Stranger. So those are going to be the 3 core games I'm going to be rotating through with some intermission. So there is a whole ZA versus Time Stranger thing. Yeah. I think they're fundamentally different games. I don't think you can compare Time Stranger to ZA that much. There are some differences. We can talk about that at a later point, though. So for now, let's start the next episode in 3. Oh, hold on. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, episode 8, by the way. Cancel. Why do they insist on making her an airhead? In the manga, she summons 2 small werewolves, and they are so cute. But this is basically just Cereberis colored white from the side. And by the way, the werewolves are what watch over Lonti and Mai in the onsen, while Kana is defeating... That's awkward. Defeating the Horn Bear. So while we have time with the opening sequence, I personally think ZA reminds me more of... Actually, I don't have a reference for it. Yeah, that was another thing I also agreed on. Like, it makes no sense that they specialize in magic, but they don't have a proper processing system for things like waste. They literally just have a hole in the ground. That is so backwards, and by backwards, I mean that it's like they didn't put any thought to it, but you would think that an academy where they're making potions and things like that, they would understand that mixing these things could cause reactions, could cause problems, could cause, explosions. And they're like, nope, just dump it in a hole, dump it in the pit. Oh, so ZA has a battle system close to next order. Oh, damn. Good thing I'm getting a lot of practice in ZA then, because if I had started out with next order, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, that's what the higher ups always think, right? And then when they explode, they're like, "How dare you? Why didn't you anticipate this?" And it's like, "Oh, next time we'll make the disposal pit underneath your office." You see how there are beastmen just with ears? Nah, in the manga, Koro's the one who tells us a shining saber. Because he's the one who's impulsive and Koro's the one who reminds him. Because he's been doing this for 10 years. Remember, he's an adventurer. And even Shining Saber recognized, he's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. You're an adventurer now." And like, this is real. He was so excited to meet up with Koro that he thinks that they're in the game again, you know? That's the thing. Oh dang, that was not in the manga. So the monster doesn't actually like have any casualties in the manga because it is everyone has evacuated and they're basically just, how do I explain this? It pretty much is just causing structural damage, which is good. But also, they don't know that the monster occurred because Lopez is avoiding responsibility until my Mai mentions that Kana mentions that that was a collection point, that that's a dangerous place on the sandbar. Because she actually tells my Mai if they ever mess with it, Kana will destroy the whole sandbar. And then that's when Lopez is like, "Oh, then it might be my potion that triggered." And like, you know what I mean? He doesn't immediately take responsibility. The nostalgia and the memories hit hard, don't they? By the way, because they said they need multiple people at level 300, I will tell you that Shining Saber and Coral are both not at level 300. I don't remember what level they are at, but I think both of them are not that close. That's why they can't do much damage to the event monster. They know it's an event monster though. Didn't they read the walkthroughs and like the fighting guides? Oh, he is? Well, that's. He's over level 400. I thought they mentioned he was level 200 something. Oh wow, that was intentional as well because in the manga, Shiny Saber's equipment is still intact but just dinged, and Coral's equipment, because he's a regular adventurer, is not quite up to quality and he loses his armor. They've swapped it. And by the way, there's a moment where Scargo heals them and encourages them to keep fighting, and in my mind, everyone band together to fight. And then Kana comes because there's a mention that Kana arrival was they had someone mysteriously telepathically give them a message, and that's how they knew Kana was on her way, but they don't know who sent the message or how they can message them. And also, there's a very cute moment where Scargo, like even Shining Saber, is like, "Yeah, this guy's a mama's boy," and then Scargo is like extremely passionately telling about all of Kana's strong points. It's such a cute scene. Why is it a monster gem? And by the way, in the manga, Kano speeds on ahead so that she teleports ahead to defeat the monster. And the princess and Lonti don't get to see her fight, so they have no idea that Kano was the one responsible for defeating it. What idiot put it, just so happened to put it, the disposal pit, where it is? That where like the collection point is. I just don't know what the possibilities of those are. And you're telling me Shining Saber, in all his 3 years of service, never once came to the academy and saw this collection point? Shining Saber was a lot cooler in the manga. See, Lonti is amazing. I love the way they have adapted her. The other characters aren't bad, I don't understand the point. Orihakurum. Oriko. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, Koro's, no way his armor would have stood up to that monster attack, okay? Not even Shining Sabers could. Wait, Lonti left with the princess. Why is she still here? I mean, I don't mind Lonti content. Always great, but it was just confusing. I thought I saw her leave with the princess. Because weren't there 4 people that left? Oh, finally, cute between scenes. I'm gonna have to double check that. I didn't know that. 'Who was the 9th skill master, by the way? 392. He was 172, if I remember correctly. Did I see that wrong translation? 392 and 427. They could have at least dented the monster, even if they couldn't do anything. See? That's actually a very accurate depiction of their interaction. That was fun. That's a staff that enhances her magic power, by the way. But if they needed 20 people who are level 300 and they have 2 people who are at a subsequent level, they could have at least damaged the monster, not just get batted away. Everyone gets excited when they see new equipment. Oh man, mine's lagging. Just at this moment. Alright. Yeah, they do have high of health pools, but they could have at least shown them have like an explosion effect or something instead of just being batted away. She doesn't ask them in the manga because she already finds out from this tower's guardian. So she was asking him about other things, and then they mentioned this. See, that's what I don't get. Is like, why does she want to know this? Because she feels like she already knows, so she's actually not curious because she has so much to do. Opus Ketten Schuttenheimer. Oh, I combined his name. Yeah, he was a troll. So Opus Ketten Schuttenheimer was a troll. He was extremely clever, but he liked pranking and messing with people. The thing is, one thing she mentions to them is that their previous guild leader, this is his tower, and they get really excited about that. It was a cute detail. I don't mind this. They shortened the interaction a little. They actually have a bit more banter before they get to this point, but I think this is fine. By the way, in the manga, everything she makes becomes a scroll, and you have to unroll it and register it, and then once you put it in your inventory, it becomes yours. It's a bit more convoluted, so I see why they simplified it. But it's funny because she actually gives scrolls to other people, and then they don't know how to use it. And no one knows how to explain it because you put it in your inventory, and then you activate it. I get depressed every time I think this director... If there is a sequel, I hope this director doesn't do it. to this. By the way, Kana does promise Shining Saber another sword if she gets the materials, and he provides some for her. And I think that's very cute because it also says that they will meet again, you know? The production team really put a lot of their budget into... Oh. It's so funny that Key sees Scargle as a bigger threat than Arrows. By the way, the effects in the background are in fact visible to everyone. They're not just for our visualization. I actually think if Kano should be, if anyone's Shining Saber is pretty good of a choice. It's very cute. They have very cute moments later on. You see, everyone's scared of that because not only does it enhance her magical power, but it has a lot of physical attack damage. So it's mentioned in the manga she's in a really good mood because she's finally gotten to meet other players, and looking at her friends list and seeing other people on it just makes her happy again. It's so cute. You see, this is how good of a mood she's in. And by the way, she mentions that it'll be... Yeah, she says that it'll be a while before Scargle can recognize the feelings of the princess. I'm looking at this timeline. I'm gonna have to read the description for episode 9. Hold on, I'm gonna do that really quick. Yeah, we can watch episode 9. It'll just be a little bit more advanced than volume 2, but that's okay. Or should I skip it? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, maybe I will skip it, because it looks like there's not going to be enough episodes for the next watch through. It has been 4 episodes. I've actually gone on a little longer than I normally do, so technically I've already Zatsu today. So I think we're going to end here. I'm going to change my video description. We will probably finish with this episode. Lit and Lonty are so cute. Alright. The ending song is actually really good. I really do like it a lot. Gosh, 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 gosh. So much happened. Thank you for being here. If you guys are joining, if you've popped in, or if you're just watching the VOD, I do appreciate you all. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There were some technical difficulties that were very much not anticipated, but I think still managed to make it work. And I'm going to have to test out some things to see if I can have a smoother experience for the next book club, which actually won't be until next year in January. So you guys have a bunch of time. We'll be keep an eye out for waiting room for Monday night. Otherwise, keep an eye out for my model debut. I might do it a little out of order because it just depends when I'm able to finish it. And by that I mean my parameters fixing and also some of the book club editing. Also, this week, I'll be doing a new outfit review every game stream this week. The week will still proceed as planned. I will not replace any of the streams with book club. Book club will be on a separate day. What else did I want to mention? Oh, yes. Remember to always drink water, stretch, and take care of yourselves. Eat breakfast when you can. It does make a difference. I definitely feel more energetic, and I do think it's part of the reason I was able to yammer so much. Despite everything, I did enjoy getting to watch it. Leadale is one of my favorite stories of all times. I absolutely adore so many of the characters, and that is why I feel so passionately about some of the things I've seen. However, I acknowledge that if you like the anime, there's nothing wrong with that. If you like it, that's great for you. This just happens to not be my preference, and that's why I'm just giving my opinion that I didn't like it. But it's totally fine if you like it. Two people can have different opinions, and that does not change your opinion on the work. Good, good, good. It's a good habit to have. Honestly, sometimes I just don't get up early enough, but it's always better to eat breakfast when you get up early enough. Let me think, what else? I always have to give disclaimers, by the way, just because people get very passionate about the things that they like, and that is totally okay as long as we can be civil about it. It can't be helped. It can't be helped. I am trying to correct my sleeping schedule. It's just that it's rough. I don't really know why. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Anyways, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for joining me. This will probably be one of the very last times you will see this model. So I really appreciate this model for all the really fun memories. And from now on, we will be entering a new model design era, and I am so excited for it. I cannot wait for you guys to see the design. As always, thank you so much for watching, whether you're chatting, lurking, or watching the VOD. I hope I see you guys in the next stream. Until next time, where did my scene go?